Much, Michael. Now we're expecting to hear from the Queensland SCS in just a moment. They'll be giving an emergency update on the situation there in southern Queensland, which has turned every bit as bad for some communities there, particularly around Logan and the river. But also we'll be updating you from the New South Wales Northern Rivers SES. They've been tweeting all evening of a really difficult situation there. When we spoke just a moment ago to the SES in New South Wales, I can update you if you're just joining us. Good morning on the situation there, and it's really pretty bad. 130 flood rescue calls were made last night, and Mark Morrow from the New South Wales SES told us a short time ago they could barely get to any of them, and so they don't know what they'll find when they're now heading out, as they are at first light, to try and discover how those people have managed to survive overnight. Some of the calls they said they received were from people on the roofs of their home or even on the roofs of their car. Now, since that, the levee has been breached and the water is now running swiftly through the city there and the city of Lismore, and it's expected to peak perhaps 2 to 3 metres. That will be in many cases up to the ceiling of many buildings and homes there. I think we can take you now to the Queensland SES, and I think we'll be hearing from Ian Stewart.
Carol from Queensland Fire and Emergency Services. Obviously, the remnants of our cyclone system are now moved out to sea. This is exactly what we were briefed on by the BOM yesterday, and we've seen that play out in the last 12 to 24 hours. We're also, with the assistance of the BOM, we know that places like the Scenic Rim down here in the southeast had over 500 millimetres of rain, again exactly in the prediction range that they gave us yesterday. But we can't forget that in the north of the state we are still engaged in a significant recovery effort. We have many resources up there in that assisting the community to come back to normal, and issues of power and communication obviously are a priority, as well as simply just being able to get around. So things are starting to turn back to normality for the residents north of Rockhampton, but this event is still not over, because what's happened with the significant amount of rain that's fallen all the way from Mackay right down to the border and beyond, we're seeing flooding, and we know that a number of our major river systems in Queensland have been declared as major flooding levels, and the ones that are probably our greatest focus at the moment are the Albert and Logan system, and of course the Bremer down in the south of the state. What that means for us is that our focus, particularly around safety of individuals, people who are thinking about going to work, we particularly in that southeast area, in the Scenic Room area in particular, so this is Beaudesert, Canungra, all of the areas around there, we'd ask them if they're actually flooded in, stay home today. Make sure that you're on high ground if you have previous experience of flooding in that area, but certainly don't try and take risks to get out to go to work today. We ask them to consider their safety and the safety of their loved ones first. That's really important. The other issue, of course, is most of the schools in the southeast are closed today, as you know, so there's going to be a lot of children about, and we'd ask everyone to consider that as they drive around their areas, that there will be lots more kids out, probably playing, enjoying the respite from the rain that we now have today. Particularly though, I'd ask parents to warn their children about playing in parks or in flooded areas where the water is still lying, because we don't know what's under that water. We don't want any tragedies from children being sucked into drains or getting into deep water that they haven't experienced before.